Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the PivotBoss pre-market video for Friday, February 22nd, 2019. I am Frank Ochoa, aka PivotBoss. Happy Friday, everyone. Here's a look at the ES in the daily time frame. Very quickly here again, 2800 is right there. 2800 to about 2820 is about right there, and that's where the recent highs are. That's where price went offered through that area, and eventually we ended up at lows near 2320s. So that was a pretty significant level or zone for some time, sold off, and now we've come all the way back to that area. Yesterday's high was 2798, so we got within two points of reaching the 2800 level. So again, I would say that while for all intents and purposes we've gotten back to the 2800 zone like we mentioned, we still haven't really gotten into the zone. And so looking to see how this progresses here, but for the most part price remains above the 8-period average. Every time it dips below it, the 8-period has been bid. The market continues to remain strong. We've only had one-day pullbacks or sideways action and then a continuation. We really haven't seen those signs of rejection just yet, and so that likely suggests more upside type of price action toward 2800 to 2820. And if we see a major rejection in that zone, maybe we start to see a turnaround in price. But for right now, this market continues to trend higher. Keep an eye on 2760 to 2763. That's an area right there where bulls are keeping that zone bid for now. If it were to go offered, perhaps we return back toward 2700 in the near term. But for right now, this market remains bullish. Haven't even hit the 8-period. Any dip below it could still be bid for a continuation higher until proven otherwise. Taking a look at the NQ, very similar price action, only the NQ, while the ES is on highs right now or very close to them, the NQ here sideways, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days sideways here, in a very narrow range. The ADR continues to drop. We're at 92 points per day right now on average, and at the moment we're trading 64% of that heading into RTH. Again, this one still has a little bit more upside. It's reached 7100, but we talked about 7100 to 7200 being the zone, with 7200 being the upper end up here near 7214 in that FOMC key level. So still we could have a little bit more upside ahead, at least one more push before we start seeing some sort of rejection. And nothing continues to show anything other than strength right now. So keep an eye on 7K. It's gotten below there here a little bit, but bounced right back above. Any failure to hold above 7K on a daily basis, daily closing basis, may lead to more weakness here. So we'll see how that continues to develop. If we take a look here at crude oil, you can see crude oil again is in an uptrending mode. It just will not go down. For a period it could not go up, and now it has been straight up. It did come back a little bit here, but again that rejection was very strong a week or so back, and this thing has led to very nice uptrending behavior ever since. Price has continued to hold above the 55.50 zone, rather the 56.50 zone. And already bouncing through that area here today, trying prices above 2-day highs. If price stays above 57.60 here, it could turn into a price discovery trend day up, where price continues to push higher. That's probably a point where we'll see this thing hit 58.50. So that could be a pretty significant continuation day if price can remain above 57.60. Failure to hold 57.60 opens up a return back toward 57s, and it continues to be a sideways trending type of environment. But overall, very bullish so far, with an upward path toward 60 still intact. Now if we take a look at gold futures, we mentioned before, especially in the trading room, that this started to look like a rejection in the early morning hours, and that could lead to a pullback toward 1326 to 1330. That happened very quickly, and I also mentioned a retest of that area could offer an opportunity for bulls to defend and push this thing higher. However, one key characteristic here that this trend has had is that it bursts higher very nicely, but after the burst it goes sideways quite a bit. Burst higher, goes sideways quite a bit. This was sideways before it burst higher right before it. And so after this recent 4-day push higher, it would not be out of the question here to see this thing go sideways for a bit, find its footing, and then continue higher. We do have a narrow pivot range developing for next month, and it is also higher, but with the current close or last price, it is change of bias to the downside. So we'll see again, can price continue to hold here? Because if so, it could continue one last leg into 1360 to 1375. But failure to hold 1320 here could open up a push to retest these lows at 1300. That could form some sort of expanding range as it develops a range at these highs after the recent rally. Alright, that is it for now. We'll see how this plays out heading into the rest of the session. Good luck, trade well, and I'll see you in the trading room.